Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really diving headfirst into something pretty big, potentially transformative in the world where, education meets entrepreneurship.
Yeah, we're looking at this new announcement from Eon Reality. It's about their tri-track global monetization strategy.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
we've got the source material right here.
We do. It details this really ambitious strategic plan. Looks like it's designed to unlock some serious growth. It feels like more than just a business model update.
Absolutely. So, okay, our mission today. Let's unpack this. What are these three tracks? How are they supposed to actually work together?
And the scale.
Right, the sheer scale they're talking about.
Mhm.
Because the numbers in this source material, they're pretty staggering.
They really are. I mean, they're targeting over $615 million in annual revenue within 3 years.
And what was it, over 1 billion users? Globally.
1 billion plus users, yeah. It puts them smack bang in the middle of these two massive markets, EdTech and the whole entrepreneurship ecosystem.
Which together, the source says, is like $600 billion plus.
That's the figure they're citing, yeah.
Yeah.
A huge opportunity.
Wow. Okay, so this connection learning skills, then starting a business, this learning to earning thing, that seems key, right?
Definitely. That seems to be the central idea weaving through it all.
So we'll break down the 3 pillars they think will get them there.
Exactly. And the source keeps stressing it's not just the individual parts, but how they fit together, how they reinforce each other to build this whole ecosystem.
Okay, so before we hit the tracks, that market context, the $600 billion plus, how do they break that down in the source?
Well, they see it as the EdTech market. That's the bigger slice, around $400 billion. And then the entrepreneurship space adding another like $200 billion.
Yeah, okay.
And their argument, based on this material, is that, traditional education doesn't always prep people for actually starting a business.
Right. And the resources for entrepreneurs often lack the learning side.
Precisely. Especially scalable, accessible learning. They think their XR tech and this integrated approach can sort of bridge that gap globally.
And the bridge itself is this tri-track strategy. Okay, let's start with track 1.
Track 1. That's the enhanced B2B model. So this is building on what they already do, serving schools, universities, companies.
Their existing customer base.
Exactly. The main aim here is basically to protect that core revenue stream, but also scale it up significantly. They plan to do that with more refined offerings and pushing further globally.
So taking the foundation and supercharging it.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. And the key seems to be moving away from a sort of one-size-fits-all approach.
Oh, okay.
They're introducing these tiered offerings, different packages for different markets, different needs, high-end stuff for big companies needing lots of support, down to more accessible options for emerging markets.
A segmented B2B strategy, then.
Right.
It makes sense. And the money side, what's the projection for just this track?
They're aiming to grow from their current $60 million a year to $180 million within 3 years, just from B2B.
Wow, tripling their core business.
Yeah, it's a big jump. And it's not just subscriptions. They also mention things like sponsored content potentially and maybe recruitment pipeline services, connecting learners to jobs.
Okay, got it. B2B, scaling up, getting more sophisticated. Now, track 2, that sounds like a totally different direction for them.
It really is. This is the B2C freemium platform. And the ambition here is huge. They're talking about reaching billions of individual learners.
Billions, directly.
Billions, yeah. The goal is democratizing access to their XR learning content.
Yeah.
VR, AR educational stuff.
That's a massive leap from selling to institutions. How does freemium make money at that kind of scale?
Well, the source breaks it down into 2 main streams: advertising and premium subscriptions.
Okay.
So the free tier gives you access to the main content library, some basic tracking, community stuff. But it's ad-supported. They mentioned maybe 2-3 ads per session.
Standard freemium model, basically. Pay to remove ads or get more features.
Exactly. That's where the premium tiers kick in. No ads, unlimited downloads, better analytics on your
And higher tiers.
Yeah, they project adding things like AI-powered personalized learning paths, maybe virtual tutoring, even links to industry certifications. A clear ladder for people who want more.
The ad revenue potential must be pretty significant for them to project that contributing heavily.
Absolutely. If they hit those user numbers, hundreds of millions of monthly actives by year 3, that's billions of ad impressions each month.
Right.
They expect good ad rates, particularly in developed markets because it's an educational audience, and then volume in emerging markets.
Right.
The overall target for B2C, starting from basically nothing, is $185 million within 3 years.
$185 million, split between ads and subscriptions.
That's the projection, yeah.
Okay, so B2B expanding, B2C aiming for massive scale. What's track 3? The source called it the crown jewel.
Ah, yes, the EON Incubator Franchise Network. This one's positioned as basically the world's first globally scalable system to take learners and turn them into actual entrepreneurs.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's AI power delivered through franchises worldwide.
That's quite a claim. Guiding users all the way from learning to launching a business. What does that actually involve? What's the source say?
It's built around a core tech platform. There's an AI guide, like an 8-step method for business building, a no-code tool for creating applications.
No code. Interesting.
Yeah, plus 24/7 AI mentorship that's apparently culturally adapted, and this immersive virtual XR campus for an 18-week program. The whole package, really. Tools and guidance.
And the franchise model is how it scales and makes money.
Yeah, that's the engine for global rollout and revenue. Local partners buy exclusive rights for a country or territory. They pay an upfront fee. The source mentions tiers, maybe $500,000 up to $2 million.
Okay, so upfront fees.
But the really interesting part, the potentially biggest revenue stream, is success-based revenue sharing.
Ah, how does that work?
Both the local franchise partner and Eon Reality get a cut 7.5% each, according to the source of the revenue generated by the entrepreneurs they successfully helped launch for the first 3 years of the entrepreneur's business.
Wait, so they only get paid if the entrepreneur actually makes money?
That's the idea. It really aligns everyone's interest, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
There's also a commission from a marketplace where these new entrepreneurs can license their solutions globally.
Okay. And the target for this track? Also starting from zero.
Yep. They project this incubator network hitting over $250 million in revenue within 3 years.
Wow.
That's based on getting into 50-plus countries and creating thousands of successful entrepreneurs each year.
Okay, so we have the 3 tracks. B2B scaling, B2C going wide, and the incubator aiming for deep impact. Now, you mentioned the source really pushes the synergy between them. How do they see that working?
Right. This is crucial. They argue the real power isn't just adding up the parts, it's the network effects. For example, the credibility they have from B2B deals with big institutions.
That builds trust for the B2C platform.
Exactly. And it makes the franchise opportunity look more solid, more attractive to potential partners.
Makes sense. If a top university uses it, I'm more likely to trust the app.
Right. And then it works the other way, too. The huge amount of data coming from potentially millions of B2C users, that's incredibly valuable.
How so?
Well, that data can feed back to improve the content for B2B clients. It can help refine the AI methods in the incubator, make everything smarter, more effective.
So the scale of B2C fuels the quality across the board.
Pretty much. And then the incubator closes the loop. Entrepreneurs build new things using the platform.
New apps, new solutions.
Yeah. And those innovations can become new content for the B2C users, or even valuable solutions for the B2B clients. It's meant to be this self-reinforcing flywheel.
So each part feeds and strengthens the others.
That's the core concept. And the source actually puts a number on it, sort of. They talk about a synergy premium.
Oh.
Yeah, they basically say the $615 million plus total target is way higher than just adding up B2B and B2C projections alone, which they estimate might be closer to like $265 million.
So that difference, over $350 million, they attribute that purely to the integration, to the synergy.
That's what the source claims, yeah. It suggests they're really, really banking on this integrated model working as planned. It's fundamental to hitting those big numbers.
That's a big bet on integration value. So how do they plan to actually roll this whole thing out globally? It sounds complex.
They outline a phased approach over 3 years. Phase 1, the first 6 months or so, is about North America and the UK. Getting the B2C platform soft launched, introducing the B2B tiers, starting to find those first franchise partners.
Laying the groundwork.
Exactly. Phase 2, months 7 to 18, moves into Europe, dealing with GDPR and all that, and also making a big push into India. They mentioned a partnership there targeting millions of users. Mobile optimization is key here, too.
Makes sense for those markets. And phase 3?
Months 19 to 36. That's when they plan entry into Latin America and Africa. The goal by then is 50-plus active franchise territories, rolling out more advanced AI features, and getting that global marketplace really buzzing with activity from the entrepreneurs.
It's a very fast, very broad rollout plan. What kind of investment does the source say this needs?
They're estimating around $25 to $35 million over the 3 years.
Okay. Where does that money go?
It's split across basically tech development, improving the platform, the AI, market expansion, so building teams, marketing, recruiting partners, and then operations and compliance, which obviously gets bigger as you go global.
Seems reasonable for that scale.
Yeah.
And the payoff, the revenue projections again?
Yeah, the ramp up is steep in the source. $150 million in year one, then $325 million in year two, and breaking that $615 million barrier in year three.
With break-even projected when?
They project breaking even within 18 to 24 months, and a pretty high ROI within 3 years. Clearly, these are best-case scenario projections tied to everything clicking into place, especially that synergy.
Very ambitious targets. What do they claim gives them the edge? Why do they think they can pull this off when maybe others haven't?
They list a few key things in the source. One is their tech proprietary spatial AI, plus their 25-plus years working in XR. That's hard to copy quickly.
Okay, deep tech expertise.
Yeah. Then there's the franchise network itself. If they build it out, that exclusive global network becomes a significant barrier to entry.
Right, a distribution and delivery advantage.
And that data flywheel we talked about, the more users they get, the smarter the system gets, creating a reinforcing advantage. But maybe the biggest one they claim is the whole integrated learning-to-earning ecosystem itself.
That complete pathway.
Exactly. They argue nobody else offers that seamless journey, guided by tech, from learning skills to actually launching a business, all within one system.
It's the integration again, building something where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. I think I saw a quote from their founder, Dan Lucherskar.
Yeah, there's one where he talks about revolutionizing how the world learns, creates, and succeeds in the AI economy.
Strong words.
Definitely. He emphasizes using their expertise and spatial AI to build the first truly integrated global ecosystem, guiding users from knowledge to entrepreneurial success. It's a grand vision, transforming potential into actual economic results globally.
Okay, so pulling this all together from our deep dive, what does this mean for you, our listener? Why track this kind of strategy?
Well, fundamentally, this plan, as laid out here, aims to impact 1 billion people. That alone is significant. It's a detailed blueprint for using tech, XR, AI, and a novel business structure to potentially widen access. Access to quality education, yes, but also critically, access to the tools and support needed to start a business.
Bypassing traditional barriers, maybe.
That seems to be the goal. Creating more direct pathways to opportunity, potentially regardless of where you are or your background. It really taps into discussions about the future of education and the future of work.
Especially in this AI-driven era.
Absolutely. It's not just about learning stuff. It's about a system designed to help you apply that learning to create economic value. Education as a direct catalyst for entrepreneurship.
Okay, so recapping this deep dive from the source material, Aeon Reality has this ambitious tri-track strategy. It blends their scaled-up B2B business, a huge new B2C freemium platform, and this unique global AI-powered incubator network using franchises.
Right. And the core idea is using the synergy between those tracks to build a learning-to-earning ecosystem. They're aiming for massive user scale and significant revenue by guiding people all the way from learning to launching.
It's a bold strategy, deeply integrated, targeting that huge intersection of education and entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And maybe the really provocative thought to leave you with is, what if a system like this, designed to take someone from student to successful entrepreneur within one platform, actually does scale globally to 1 billion users?
How would that change things?
How might that reshape access to opportunity around the world? And what does it tell us about the future, where that line between learning and earning gets deliberately blurred and AI is the facilitator? That's something to mull over, I think.
Definitely food for thought. And for listeners who want to dig even deeper, the source material does mention a full white paper with all the detailed projections and analysis.
Yep. Plenty more detail available if you're interested.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure. Always interesting to unpack these big strategies.